Hold on to your goggles because Jupiter is retrograding back into Aquarius. All right, we've got a triple layer cake of celestial phenomena to unpack and taste today. So stay with me because it's a 3-part series of aspects that is taking place between July 28th and July 29th. So first, we've got Jupiter, planet of abundance, blessings, fertility, joy, expansion. Jupiter is leaving, I know, it's a little sad. Jupiter is leaving its domicile in Pisces, but just briefly. We're going to go back into Aquarius where Jupiter has a little bit of unfinished business. So Jupiter is retrograding back into Aquarius. This is where the vaccines started to be distributed. We know that Aquarius is a sign of science. It's a sign of careful, strategic innovation and progress. And it's a fixed air sign. So we're very opinionated in the sign of Aquarius. So yeah, that's where Jupiter's headed back to, where Jupiter in Aquarius is all about participating in something bigger than us for the greater good, for the progress of humanity, et cetera, et cetera. And it's something where we enjoy to do something like that, except because Saturn is there, it really does feel more like a duty. So we keep hearing the word or the term civic duty going around. So yeah, astrologers predicted, including myself, we predicted that we would see a reopening of and a lifting of the mask mandates and things like that, and an alleviation from social distancing and a return to togetherness when Jupiter entered Pisces. We also didn't know how accurate we would be because the mask mandates were lifted nationally on the exact day, May 13th, that Jupiter entered Pisces. So we got that right. And we're getting it right again because we also warned that this would be temporary because we knew that Jupiter would be retrograding back into Aquarius to take care of some of that unfinished business. As we can see, we have variants of the COVID virus kind of getting out of hand again. So we're starting to hear the buzz around bringing back mask mandates. And we're also seeing the defiant passing of legislature by certain states that would ban mask mandates in schools. So we're already seeing kind of retaliation happen at the time of this recording. So that brings me to our second part. So as Jupiter retrogrades back into Aquarius, arriving at the anaretic degree, the 29th degree of Aquarius. The 29th degree has a lot to do with urgency. There's an urgency to do something now. Meeting in an opposition with Mars. And we know that Mars is the warrior. Mars likes to fight. Mars likes to battle. Mars is also at the 29th degree in the sign of incredibly passionate Leo. This is also the location of the fixed star Regulus. So Regulus is actually now at 0 degrees Virgo, but we still kind of feel it on the other side of that sign boundary. And so there's a lot of pride. You know, Mars in Leo, there's a lot of pride around what they're angry about. So of course, we're all going to be angry about this. Nobody wants to go back to what we were doing a year ago. We've all had a taste of freedom. We've all had a taste of normalcy. And it's starting to even get better. Like Jupiter in Pisces has really planted those seeds for us to create more meaning in our life, to align with more purposeful relationships and vocation and all of that. And so it's the thought of going back to anything remotely resembling masks and quarantine is going to be infuriating for everyone. And so it doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, we all have a reason to be upset, you know? And so I think that Jupiter-Mars opposition is really going to highlight a lot of that animosity and frustration and wrath, whether you're pointing fingers at each other across the lines in the sand or at the governments or whatever it might be. This astrology doesn't care who you are and what your politics are. So I'm trying to be neutral here, even though if you're following me, you probably already know where I stand. But so that's really what we're going to be seeing. And it's, at the 29th degree, there's an urgency, like we need to do something. So I really do see there being legislature passed quickly to recommend the use of masks. And I see people really stepping up like states really stepping up their incentives to get people vaccinated. So we will continue to see that. So we will have this like fierce yet brief standoff between Mars and Jupiter. That's an insane amount of energy. It's an insane amount of passion. So think about where you're directing that in your own life. All of a sudden we're gonna have all this energy, which is really great because Cancer season left me feeling pretty tired. So I'm looking forward to that little boost. And so we're going to be experiencing that somewhere in our personal lives as well. It could be arguments, it could be a big argument opposite to Jupiter, but really it's a lot of passion and wanting to direct that passion toward the group somehow with Aquarius. So, and the other thing is that there's a lot of stubbornness going on with this aspect where everyone's just going to think that they're right and everyone else is wrong. Because we know Aquarius is fixed air, and Leo is very confident and passionate. So yeah, everyone's going to be kind of like at a standstill with their beliefs kind of thing and their opinions. So Twitter should definitely be interesting on these days. But then Mars, part 3, Mars then continues on into the sign of Virgo and changes signs. So continuing in this theme, thinking back to when things initially shut down with quarantine, we had a full moon in Virgo and everyone was like, wash your hands, and that kind of mindfulness happening. So here we have a Virgo planet, again coinciding with what I think is going to be another critical period in this pandemic. So so while Mars is in Virgo, it's just we got to pay attention to the details again. We got to be more cleanly. We got to be more ritualistic. We have to be more discerning. You know, Virgo is one of those signs that is really helpful, 2, really detailed, 3, has a critical eye for detail, and it's able to analyze. It's a very analytical sign. So with Mars, it's going to be about how we manage our space, how we manage our schedule. We're just going to be a little bit more discerning and clean. So that's going to be something that's happening. And also, you know, it's about, I feel like Mars in Virgo is really here to help us hone our craft. So if there's something that you're looking to improve in your life, if there's a big project that you're working on, Mars in Virgo can help us kind of hermit a little bit and really focus on what it is that we are working on. And it can help us to be of service to others as well. So yeah, so that's a little bit about what's shifting right now. Overall, just seeing such a quick succession of shifts in the skies. We're going to be seeing it down here on Earth as well. So that's a little bit about this triple entendre of celestial phenomena. And that was your astrology shot of the day. And hang in there. We got this. We're on this planet. We're doing this thing together. Let's rock it. Let's do this. All right. And I will catch you next time. Thank you so much for joining me today. For more astrology in your world, you can connect with me on Instagram, Twitter, or Patreon at AstroCatherine. You can also book your reading with me. I got all kinds to choose from. Or study astrology with me. Timing and Transits is our predictive module, and it begins in September. You can find out more on my website.